Guys, I have some amazing news. I found out the sex of my baby. So I'm going to tell you that in a minute. But first, I just want to say hi to those of you who haven't met me before. I'm TJ. I had my little girl, Baby Star, when I was 48 by myself as a single mother by choice using donor sperm and donor eggs. And she's about to turn 2. I can't believe it. And I'm actually currently pregnant with baby number 2. Here she comes. She's running over. Thank you. Thank you. Enough. Go get me some more flowers. I'm currently pregnant with baby number 2. I'm 12 weeks pregnant. So I started this YouTube channel to inspire other women who are on an unusual path to motherhood. And I've been making videos since Baby Star was 3 months old. And I've also started a private online community where I support women around the world who are also on an unusual path to motherhood. And we have over 100 women in the community now from 15 different countries. Hey, sweetie, someone's bringing me a flower. Some of them are single mothers, some of them are older, in their late 40s, and some of them are using donor eggs, but they're all on an unusual path. And we all support each other in there and connect and get to know each other. It's really beautiful. So if that's something you feel would be supportive of your journey, you can find out more at mybabydream.club. Okay guys, so before I do the gender reveal, I just wanted to thank all of you who commented on my last video where I just walked around my house holding my phone randomly, shooting and rambling on about my pregnancy. Because as I said in that video, I don't have time anymore to spend 10 or 20 hours editing my videos. So from now on, there's gonna be no more fancy schmancy editing. But this morning I did manage to at least set up the camera and put a dress on. And I did all that when I first woke up. But unfortunately, Baby Star has now woken up. She's just come to give me flowers. Do you want to get me some more flowers? Yeah. Thank you. I'm just going to keep getting her to go get me flowers so I can keep talking to you. So my plans of shooting this first thing in the morning before she woke up have been foiled. But anyway, I'm going to tell you the whole story. So about a week ago, I did a blood test. Quite an expensive blood test, but it's worth doing. It's called the Harmony test or the NIPT test. And basically, it's a genetic test. I think they get a little bit of the baby's placenta that's in the blood. And they can tell all sorts of stuff from that. So the most important thing I found out from that, much more important than the sex of the baby, is that the baby is likely to be genetically normal. It was shown to be low risk across the board, no Down syndrome or anything like that. So that is so good. Yes, more flowers, thank you. Another more flowers. Do you want to go get me some more flowers? Yeah. Yeah, go get me some more flowers. Get some more. What about some purple ones? Purple ones. This is working. I'm just getting her to get me flowers so I can talk to you. Okay, so as well as telling you the genetics, it also tells you the sex of the baby with 99.9% certainty. So it's better than looking on a scan and the baby's legs are together, they can't see the genitals, and and also you'd have to wait a lot longer to do it on a scan. So are you ready to find out? I'm having a boy. This is one of Baby Star's only blue things, so I'm using it to visually represent this baby. Oh, you can give me another flower. Thank you. Can you get me some more flowers? Yeah. Yeah, get me more flowers. There's so many. I'm going to have a pile of flowers by the end of this video. Thank you. Yellow flowers. Yellow flowers. Yellow flowers. Yellow. Yellow means yellow. She's learning to talk. It's the cutest thing. Give me some purple flowers. So I'm having a boy. Honestly, I don't even know where to start. I have so many feelings about it. The biggest feeling I have about it is, oh, thank you. That's a beautiful one. Thank you. Do you get me some more flowers? Yeah. Thank you. The biggest feeling I have about it is a kind of deep knowing that I'm doing the right thing, because I've always known that there were 2 spirits around me. I've known that one was a girl and one was a boy. And when the first one came in and turned out to be Baby Star, I was like, okay, this is accurate. This is what I'm meant to be doing. And then I decided I was only having one child. So I always assumed that the second spirit would come in as a grandson or a great-grandson or something like that. But then, at the start of the year when I started to have this feeling that this baby wants to come through me, and I did not want a second baby, and I had to work through a lot of fears about my age and about all sorts of things. And also my fears on the other side, that Baby Star would be all alone in the world if something happened to me, and my desperate need to give her a sibling out of fear rather than out of joy. And I worked through all of that, and it took about 8 months. And as I shared in a previous video, I came to the point where I felt really neutral. And I felt like if there's a child that wants to come in, so be it. I will be very happy and grateful if it's successful. If it's not successful, I know we'll be okay. And I got to that point of neutral, and that's when I did the embryo transfer. But through that whole 8-month process, I just kept feeling it must be the boy. It's the boy coming through. Because I felt this boy a few years ago. As I said, I felt these two spirits. And I was actually working with a woman in New Zealand who specializes in working with incoming souls. And she could feel these two spirits. And there was a group of people we were working with, and they could all feel these two spirits. So it was quite a strong thing. Now, some of you might think that's all woo-woo, and that's totally fine. But it was my reality at the time, and it felt very real. So when I found out I was pregnant, I just had such a strong feeling that it was a boy. And then on top of that, oh, she's coming back with more flowers. Oh, he got me some purple flowers. You're so clever. Where did you get those purple flowers? Thank you, Miss Curly Whirly Girly. Beautiful. Wow. Do you want to go get me some more?
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, I have quite a few friends who are pretty psychic, pretty intuitive. And they all told me they thought it was a boy. And then pretty much every single one of my close friends said to me, I have a feeling it's a boy. I mean, I think there might have only been one person I know who thought it was a girl. So like everybody thought it was a boy. Oh, it's a bee. Go away, bee. So this child must have some pretty strong energy because everybody can sense this child. Okay, so baby Star is now inside playing with some dinosaurs while watching Bluey. So hopefully that'll keep her busy for 10 minutes so I can finish this video. So the other reason why I was pretty certain it was a boy was because on the day that I found out I was pregnant, I suddenly came up with a boy's name. Now that may not sound like a big deal, but I had been looking for a boy's name for 3 years. The whole time I was pregnant with baby Star, until I found out the sex of that baby, I was trying to come up with boys' names because I had a whole list of girls' names I loved, and I just couldn't find a boy's name that felt right to me. It was really, really weird. And I was looking up baby websites, baby name podcasts, baby name blogs, making lists of thousands of names, and there's just nothing that I wanted to choose. So when I found out it was a girl, I was like, okay, well, that's why, because there was no boy, so that's why I wasn't getting any knowing of a name. And so then this time round, when I had that 8-month period where I was going back and forth on should I try for a second, shouldn't I? Because I had such a strong feeling it was going to be a boy, I thought, well, if I can come up with a name, that'll be a sign that I should move forwards with this. And I could not come up with the name. I just, again, started looking at baby name lists and baby name YouTube channels and baby name websites. I just couldn't, I had a list of thousands of names, but there was none that really was standing out. So that's why it was so strange. On the day that I did my peed on a stick in the morning at 5 a.m, I found out I was pregnant. And then a few hours later, at like 9 a.m, drove to get my blood test to confirm. And baby Star was in the back. And I think I've shared this story before, that this music came on from my iPhone in my car that I've never even heard before, somehow from my phone. And it was this beautiful ethereal music. And the title of the song was Stars, like there's going to be a second star coming. And it was just like, what is happening right now? And in that moment, a name came into my head for a boy. And I'm pretty sure that will be his name. I mean, I might change my mind as I sit with it over the next 6 months, but just the fact that a name came through that I really liked, that felt really right, that really matches my daughter's name, was just like, it's got to be a boy. Because maybe the only reason I can find a name now is because I actually have this boy in my body. So anyway, I'm a very symbolic person. I like to feel things deeply and think about things deeply. So for me, that was confirmation of my intuition. And so it was so unlikely I would come up with a boy's name after 3 years. So the fact that it was the day I found out I was pregnant, it all was like, la, 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 the sun and the moon and the stars are aligning, it's got to be a boy. So if this harmony test had showed it was a girl, of course I would have been excited. I mean, who wouldn't want two little girls? Oh my God, I'm a solo mom. I'm by myself. I'm a female. It would be so easy for me to raise two girls. I had a sister. I know what it's like with two sisters. You know, that would have been super easy for me. But as much as I would have loved to have a little girl, I think I would have felt quite rocked. Like maybe my trust in my own intuition would have been a bit rocked. And my feeling that this is meant to be, I'm supposed to be doing this, you know, this is my purpose. It's not coming from my head. There's something deeper at play here. All of those feelings would have been really rocked if it was a girl. So that's why I'm glad it's a boy, because I feel really like, okay, this is what I'm meant to be doing. Everything is as it should be. I'm following the path that I was meant to follow. So it feels really right that it's a boy. So that's like the deeper reason why I'm really happy that it's a boy. But on top of that, oh my God, it would be so sweet to raise a boy. I mean, obviously boys and girls in many ways are exactly the same, but there are some key ways in which they are different. And I've definitely observed that in the last 2 years, being in millions of baby groups and toddler groups and lots of friends with boy mums and girl mums, I can see differences between them. And yes, maybe it's all socialization, but I don't think so. My kind of feeling about it, having watched a lot of these babies, is there are just some differences in how the brains are wired and how the hormones run. Yes, it's all amplified by socialization, but I just get the feeling from what I've observed that there are some differences. So it is going to be really interesting to see that with my own eyes, see that play out. I'm a super cuddly, affectionate person, and I know I'll be that with a boy just as much as with a girl. Probably the only difference in how I'll treat him, certainly when he's a baby, is I'm just not going to put him in frilly pink clothes. And other than that, he'll get just as much cuddles and cuteness, and you're such a little cutie pie and you're such a sweetie pie, like all that stuff that I've done with Baby Star, which has taught her to be very loving and caring and affectionate and expressive. I know I'll do that with the boy too. So probably the only difference in how I'll treat him is the clothes I'll put him in. And just on that note, it has been a very funny few days since I found out I'm having a boy because I gave away, donated all Baby Star's clothes for the first year because I thought I was only having one child. And then when this kind of possibility emerged at the start of the year that I might have a second one, I started keeping her clothes just in case. So from sort of age 1 onwards, I have all her clothes. I haven't donated any of them yet. I was looking through them the other day to think, can I put any of these on a boy? And the thing is, because she has this strawberry blonde hair and this kind of warm toned skin, very pale warm toned skin, like peaches and cream, the colors that suit her best are peach and pink and salmon. Like that's just what suits her. That's the only reason I put her in those colors, is not because she's a girl. It just looks so cute on her. So like most of her clothes are those colors, or they're mint, or that kind of color, and they're very girly. But it's not just that. I was looking through her clothes, I was like, could I put any of these on a boy? Now, I don't have a problem putting pink or peach clothes on a boy if he has that coloring. I just want to dress him in whatever suits him. But the problem is, what I really noticed when I look through her clothes is it's not the color that's the problem. It's the fact that they all have little ruffles. Everything has a little ruffle somewhere, a little scrunch somewhere, a little detail that makes it girly. And I thought, yes, I could put my boy in pink, but could I put him in pink with ruffles, Plus, obviously, she has lots of dresses and skirts, so I'm not going to do that to a boy. That would be too confusing. I know we're in a gender-neutral era, but I think that might be pushing it, especially in the community where I live. So I've gone through her clothes and I put bazillions of them in bags, all the really dresses and girly things, and then anything that's a gender-neutral color or, not too frilly and pink, I've kept. And then I've actually found that I could cut the frills off a lot of her t-shirts and a lot of her little tank tops. I'm just cutting the frills off and suddenly they look like gender-neutral clothes. It's amazing. And then what I've done is I've collected tons of pink stuff, anything that doesn't have ruffles or that I've cut the ruffles off that's pink or peach. I'm keeping a few peach things for the boy and pink things for the boy, but a huge bag of peach and pink things. And what I'm going to do, and I'll let you know if it works, I might make a video about it, I'm going to use a color stripper to remove the color from them, and then I'm going to dye them. I'm going to tie-dye them and dye them different colors. So it's going to be a really fun project. I'm going to probably do it in my second trimester. So yes, I'll wear a mask. I'm not breathing any dust, any dyes in or anything, but it's going to be super fun to do some tie-dyeing with Baby Star. I've never done it before, so I'll make a video about that. But anyway, so I'm repurposing all her girls' things for boys. But I think, like, other than the clothes issue, I really don't think I'm going to do anything that differently with a boy. I don't feel daunted about raising a boy. I feel like, it's really interesting. One of the things I spent a lot of energy on over the years was understanding men, because I always wanted to find the beloved partner I was going to marry and have a child with. And it was like my number one priority in life. My whole life was to find the beloved partner. So I spent so many years learning about men, learning about relationships, reading books about how men's brains work, how men are wired, and I came to be better and better and better at understanding them, at not emasculating them. I spent years studying the work of Alison Armstrong, highly recommend her. She teaches you how to treat men in a way that empowers them rather than emasculates them. And she talks a lot about how to do that with little boys. So I feel like over the years I've taken a lot of that in, and it's now embodied in me. And even though, there's a march fly or a wasp. I'm in Australia, there's always crazy bugs. so intense at this time of year. It's just like bug. I stepped on a wasp yesterday and squashed it. It's full on. Anyway, so even though I didn't end up finding that beloved partner and I've ended up going down this path of having a child by myself, and of course there's a part of me that has grieved that, but I'm very happy right now with Baby Star, and I know I'm going to be happy with this little one. I think what has come out of that is I do have some knowledge and some skills about raising boys, so I feel comfortable with that. I feel confident about that. The bit that I am nervous about, like my only fear about having a boy, is not about me raising the boy. It's not about Baby Star with the boy, because I think she's going to be a beautiful influence on a boy, because she's very loving, she's very expressive, she's incredibly caring, and I know she's going to adore him. I mean, this girl, she's unbelievable. It just as an aside, one of the reasons I decided to go ahead and have this second baby was because of Baby Star and how her personality is. She's so caring. I mean, her number one personality trait is that she loves to share. And I mean, toddlers are not known for sharing, but it's just her personality. It's not her age. And like, even just now, I was giving her milk in the morning, breastfeeding her when we woke up. And she was on this side and she gets her doll and she puts it on the other side. Like, she has to make sure her doll's also getting fed. Like, she's not going to be jealous of a baby. I mean, maybe she will be in the beginning, but her personality won't be. That'll just be, the shock of it all. But once she's adjusted, and every single night before bed, she gets her baby doll or her teddy bear or her Mr. Potato Head, it doesn't matter what, and she brushes their teeth, and then she puts wipes their bottom and puts a new nappy on them, and then she puts them into bed. Like, she's super caring and super maternal, so she's going to be beautiful with this little boy. And I feel like boys who are raised with lots of love and lots of care and lots of empathy and lots of affection tend to be a little bit more emotionally aware and emotionally intelligent men when they grow up. So that's my hope. He's also going to be surrounded by a lot of very wise women. I have a lot of women in my life who are very awake, very empowered, very intelligent, have done a lot of work on themselves. So I feel like he's going to have a lot of role models of good communication and empathy and communication resolution skills and the stuff that can really help little boys and men and young men. The thing that worries me about my situation, and that I really just have to trust it's going to change, is that right now at this point in time, I don't have that many male role models for him. Now, when I first got pregnant with Baby Star, I thought I had a lot of male role models in my life. I put a lot of energy in during my pregnancy to building friendships with some of the guys in this community. I was going to workshops with them and festivals with them and classes with them and doing, communications courses and all sorts of things. And I met some really beautiful men who were really self-aware and caring. And I thought they would be an amazing support once I had my child, and they all became good friends. But what was interesting was after the baby was born, they all just kind of melted away. I mean, a lot of my friends melted away. You'll all know this, those of you who've had kids, like especially at an older age, like your non-parent friends tend to melt away. And the people who come into your life are people who love babies or other mothers with young babies. So basically, for the last 2 years, all I have spent time with is young mums or older mums or just mums with babies the same age as my daughter. So I'm at mums groups, I'm at play groups, I'm at activities, I'm at children's festivals. Like, I'm always, if I'm out of the house, I'm at something related to the baby. And so it's always women with their babies. Sometimes they have their husbands, but I haven't really had a chance to connect with much of their husbands. I don't meet them very often. It's usually just the mum. So I've gone for 2 years with hardly seeing a human male. And the only friends who've come to visit from my old friends are the friends of mine who love babies. And the friends of mine who love babies are all female. So I've literally just had women I've met who are other mums and my old friends who are female who love babies. Other than my dad, who lives in a different city, who I FaceTime every day with Baby Star, so she knows him very well over the phone, and he comes to visit every few months. He's about to come visit next week. There's really been no regular male presence in Baby Star's life. Now, when she first was born, I had a flatmate living here who's a beautiful brother of mine, not a genetic brother, but like a social brother. I care for him very much. He's like my cousin. And he lived here till she was 9 months old. So there was at least a male figure in the house, and there was also my ex-partner living on the property. So she occasionally saw him. So she had a little bit of like contact with some lovely men who cared about her. But then once they both moved off the property, there's really been no regular contact with men, other than an occasional handyman or one of my friend's husbands or something who pops over to help me fix something. And that has been fine, because Baby Star doesn't need that at the moment. When she's older, I'm sure she'll have male friends and things like that. But I feel like a little boy needs more male role modeling than that. So that is my concern. And obviously my father is a wonderful male role model. He's a very beautiful human, very caring man, and he'll be fantastic. But as I said, he lives in another city, so it's going to be mainly over the phone, FaceTime relationship. He'll see him every few months. Hello, Missy Moo. How's Bluey going? How's Bluey going? Baby Star's so cute. She just came to check on me and see where I was. And now she's gone back in to watch Bluey. Bluey is the best. If I just need 10 minutes to myself like this, I just put on a couple episodes of Bluey and she just watches it. But she usually does climbing and playing at the same time. So she's not just staring fixed at the TV. She's still learning and growing and using her body skills. But it just gives me like 10 minutes to do something. It's brilliant. Bluey is the best show. By the way, those of you who are American who are watching Bluey, who are like, is that really how Australians talk? Yes. It's the most Aussie show I have ever seen. Every expression that they say on that show is exactly how we talk here, and how the parents raising those two kids, Bluey and her sister Bingo, is exactly what life was like when I was young. Like, it's a sort of throwback. It's a bit of a throwback to an older era of Australia. So anyway, that's just a little aside. Those of you who know what Bluey is, who watch it with your kids or who watch it, it's the cutest show. Anyway, so that is my only concern about having a boy, is that currently in my life, apart from my father, I don't have any regular men in my life. I mean, I do have some wonderful male friends who live in my home city, but I don't live there anymore, so that I don't see them regularly. Every now and then one of them comes to visit, but I feel like a boy needs more than that. So my hope and my prayer is that over time, some of my male friends will start to come back into my life. Now, if I have a boy and they realize I've had a boy, they might want to come and hang out with him a bit. I'm also just hoping some new men will show up eventually as my children get older and we're out and about in society more. Obviously, when they're much older, there'll be scout leaders and male teachers and fathers of their friends. But it's in the first few years that there's not much at the moment. So I just have to trust that this baby is bringing with him what he needs. So far, a lot of amazing miracles have happened since this baby has been in my tummy. So I feel like this baby is bringing with him what he needs. So who knows? Maybe some new male friends will show up in my life. Maybe a neighbor will move onto this property who's male. Maybe one day I'll start dating again. I'll meet a wonderful man. I mean, right now that is so out of my mind. And considering how, as I said earlier, how many years I spent hoping and praying to meet the beloved and all that research I did on men, I have not even thought about dating. Like, it's the last thing on my mind at this point in my journey. It's just the last thing on my mind. Like, I don't have time. I didn't even have 1 second to think about that. And I don't have any even really space in my heart to get to know a new person. I'm so in love with Baby Star and getting to know her. And once this new boy comes, I just want to get to know everything about him, spend every second with him, learn him from the bottom up, learn who he is in his heart and his soul. And just like, that is so all consuming in those first couple of years. I feel it would be doing a disservice to some guy to meet him now. I wouldn't be able to get to know him to the depths of his soul like I want to, because I'm obsessed with these two babies. And this one isn't even born yet. So it's definitely a good couple of years, unless some act of God happens and I meet the most extraordinary man and I can't deny it and it just takes me over. Like, who knows? But it's extremely unlikely. I don't even go anywhere where there are any men. I'm just always at mums and bubs groups, and they're usually run by women. So this is just nothing that brings me into contact with any men. Now, you never say never, because you could meet a man in the grocery shop or in the supermarket. So obviously, I'm not going to say never, but the point of this story is I just have to trust that at some point there'll be men in my son's life and in Baby Star's life as good male role models. Everything else about having a boy feels really good to me. I'm really, really excited. I feel like it will be a lovely experience to raise a boy after raising a girl, and I feel like I've got my little special girl, Baby Star, and she's so sweet and she's so girly. Now I'm gonna have my little special boy. I will say it's been very funny telling my family, because our family is famous for just always having girls. Like, we just always have girls. Like, my dad and mum had 2 girls. And then my sister has had a girl. And then I've had a girl. And like the running joke my whole life has been my dad in this house surrounded by girls. And he would always have like one dog at any time in our lives. He'd have a pet dog and he would say, I'm not de-sexing him because I need another man in the house. I mean, always have one dog out of all our cats and dogs who'd not been de-sexed, who was the other man. My dad was like, I need this dog. So when I told my dad I was having a boy, he was so shocked. He still hasn't quite taken it in. It just never occurred to him that there'd be a boy in our family. It's always my dad with all the girls. It's so funny. But I think he'll really love it. And you know, that we're all joking, oh, finally you've got someone you can take to the football. But the thing is, he took me to the football. I got raised as the oldest son. I was like super into sports and cheering. I knew all the stats and I understood all the rules. I was really into football when I was a kid, Australian football. So needless to say, everyone in my family is super excited that there's finally going to be a boy. I'm already making a gazillion little jokes about him being a little Jedi and little Padawan. And he's just going to get absolutely doted on by all the women, all his cousins, his big sister, his auntie, his mummy, my dad's new partner, like all my female friends, like all the women in my life. Like he's just going to be doted on by a gazillion women. So it's going to be very cute. Anyway, that's my big news. I'm having a boy. I can't believe it. Even though I've always known it, it's still just amazing. It's just amazing. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. Never in my wildest dreams 10 years ago could have imagined I would be here living in the middle of the country, having 2 children by myself, one of them at age 48. You know, when I give birth, assuming this pregnancy goes full term, I will have just turned 51 like a week before. My baby is due 2 weeks after I turn 51. It's crazy, but I'm the happiest I've ever been in my whole life. These 2 years with Baby Star has been easy. It's been joyful. I felt like it's used all my skills. It's been the most fun thing I've ever done. I feel more full of love than I ever have in my life. I'm happier round the clock than I've ever been in my life. I'm very, very blessed. And I also feel really grateful that through the journey I've been on, I've been able to inspire so many women around the world. I get emails every day. I have women joining my community who say they're only having a baby because they watch my YouTube videos. I mean, it blows my mind. But obviously there's a higher reason why all of this is happening, because there are women out there who need this support and who need this example, and need this inspiration and need this motivation, who are meant to do it, and they just needed to see someone else who's already done it, to just give them that last little bit of confidence to do it by themselves. So I feel so grateful, and maybe this second baby will be part of that it will inspire people that I've had 2 by myself at this age. I don't know, but that's all I'm going to say. So far, I'm starting to feel a lot better. I'm coming to the end of the first trimester now. I'll be doing my 13-week scan next week. That's a very big scan where they really look at everything about the baby, so I'll let you know what happens. But so far, so good. I'm feeling a lot better. I'm less tired. My tummy's completely settled down. Breastfeeding is still painful, but it's not quite as painful as it was since I stopped taking all the estrogen and progesterone, so it's a little bit more manageable, and I've cut down the number of feeds I'm doing. So far, this pregnancy is going really well. So I'll keep you posted as it unfolds. I just wanted to really share with you today the big news that I'm having a boy. I know his name. I'm super excited. I'm dyeing all my daughter's clothes and cutting off all the ruffles and preparing everything for him. It's gonna be so much fun. Oh my God. I just feel like the luckiest woman on earth. Thank you all for your love and your support. Over here is another video you should watch, which you'll find really inspiring. And I'll see you soon with another totally rambling, unedited video about what's going on in my pregnancy, and I'll let you know how it's going. All right, everybody, I'm sending you so much love, so much baby dust. Bye. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.